Hello, this is the Radical Coach, and I'm broadcasting this blog to you on a boat called Scarlet. And today I'm sitting under a willow tree on deck, with the water slowly lapping by the side of me. I can see all different types of birds. Some are building their nests, and some are just busy bringing food to their young ones. There are a pair of ducks swimming by the boat, and 6 tiny little ducklings are trying to keep up behind them. And there is a lady on the other side of the river bank feeding other water birds. And they all try to get in front of each other as they feed frantically. There is a slight breeze, and the tree is keeping me cool from the bright sun. The boat creates an island for me where you and I can work together from the riverbank. So I want you to imagine this scene. Join me away from the crowds and your daily stresses, calming your mind down to a slower pace for radical coaching to begin. So let's get radical. This vlog is all about emotional intelligence, and I'm going to call it EQ for short. Now, most people know something about IQ. In fact, most of us know something about IQ because it's measured by tests and exams in schools and universities. So we're quite familiar with it. But EQ is emotional intelligence. And it can be taught at an early age, but it's not developed at home really or at school. Schools are not really spending a lot of time on EQ. And it's important that you begin to understand what EQ is. And actually, all the vlogs are teaching you EQ. I just haven't mentioned it before. Because it's understanding your feelings first. And then you'll be able to feel others. It's about empathy and being able to see the bigger picture. It's about reading body language. Ask yourself this question: are you good at reading other people's body language? Can you pick up on their facial expressions when they're looking angry or sad, or do you just miss it? Do you not see people's expressions because they're trying to tell you something that's coming from an emotional place first rather than language? Might be something you've never really thought about before, but hopefully after this vlog it'll be on your mind. It's so important that it's on your mind, because when you start working and improving your own EQ, you will really improve how you feel, and you'll be more awake in your relationship with others. Awake meaning you'll be more consciously aware. So let's just take a look at how EQ works in daily life. We all need more of it, by the way. And it might not have been developed as you were growing up, because it will affect your feelings of happiness. So without good EQ, you'll find yourself in tricky situations a lot of the time. There'll be a lot of dramas around you, and you may feel like a victim a lot of the time. So here are some clues that might, help you. You don't understand your own moods. You're not on top of your own emotions. You have no clue how you negatively impact on others. You're prone to lashing out in anger. Raise a tongue. And you keep on arguing even when there's no point. You must have the last word. Especially around children and intimate relationships, and even in the workplace. Sound familiar? Or you might criticise others on every chance you get. Do you like to gossip? Do you have problems leading in work? So you're not really a team player. You're not mindful of other people's feelings. Does blaming come naturally? Are you afraid to try anything new? Are you unable to make or maintain good relationships with friends and colleagues? Do you let all kinds of negativity get to you? As I said before, can you read people's facial expressions very well? Are you sometimes oblivious to other people's emotions? Are you bitter a lot of the time and bear a grudge? Have you ever been with people when it seems like everyone is talking over each other, trying to get the loudest word in or the last word? No one's really listening, you know. Are you often rehearsing what you want to say when other people are talking to you? That's a big one. Because are you waiting to jump in with the ideas you have? Are you quick to tell them your story because it seems to be more important than just listening to the other person? When you've got friends that are like that, you don't ever feel validated. You really don't feel good when you try and talk to them. You don't feel like they can hear you. They'll have low EQ, but don't tell them that. This is your work. So low EQ, big ego mind. And there'll be vlogs on the ego, so you'll know more about that. But a big ego mind is not good, trust me. Let me give you another example of EQ and IQ together and how it works. So Sam landed the job because he had good IQ. He was highly intelligent. But Sam's lack of EQ got him fired. He had no social skills. Can you see? And he might go after job after job after job, but he just can't keep them, or she can't keep them, because they don't know how to interact with other people. They might be very good at what they do, but they haven't got people's skills. So for us to really understand emotional awareness, it's best to develop it from an early age. So it can be shown by encouraging qualities like sharing and thinking about others. Putting yourself into somebody else's shoes. Giving individual space. Being aware of boundaries. And there are toys and games available to increase emotional intelligence for children who do not do so well in social settings. So it's worth looking up on the internet if this is something you think you'd like to know more about. But if you haven't learnt this while growing up, don't worry. It can be learned if you generally want to change the way that you see the world. And it's something that I naturally spend time dealing with on a daily basis with clients, as I've said before. Because an adult's EQ can be enhanced, and effective coaching can help with that. A really, really good book I can recommend is Emotional Intelligence by Dr. Goleman, who explains EQ as having the ability to identify, access and control one's own emotions, the emotions of others and that of groups. I hope that you find the book of great benefit. He's also on YouTube, which I would recommend. So if you don't want to get bogged down by reading, it's excellent. He's YouTube clips, and you'll learn an awful lot from him because he was the one that actually wrote and invented emotional intelligence. So I'd like you to use your journal over the next week or so, and I want you to rate your levels of EQ, or what you think they are, 10 being the best. So rate how well you understand your moods. Give that a number. How well are you on top of your emotions? Give that a number. how your negativity impacts on others. Give that a number. And just to remind you, if it's 10, you're doing really well. Anything below 5, you need to work on yourself. Give a number of how prone you are to lash out in anger. How good are you at reading facial expressions and body language? Give that a number. Rate it in your journal. Are you aware of your own personal space? Do you sometimes stand too close to people? You're in people's face and it makes people feel uncomfortable. That just means that you might not be aware of other people's boundaries. Just meaning that you don't understand the distance you need to be when meeting new people, as opposed to someone that you're close and intimate with. So don't get into people's personal space, because that can really offend them. And are you aware of other people's boundaries, which is like personal space, but it's about the distance that you need to keep when you're at work, when you're maybe even on the tube. You need to be aware of boundaries and personal space in lots of different things that you're doing. So these are a few things for you to write down in your journal and for you to give them some serious thought. Please number them, as this gives you a guideline as to what work you need to do on yourself. And I really think it's helpful for you to start looking at things on YouTube to do with EQ, because that will help you understand more, and then your journal work will be easier. So until next time.